Resident Evil 7 is easily in my top 5 Resident Evil games. Not only that, but I truly do think this game changed the landscape of other horror games at the time of its release, and it's still scary as hell to this day. So let's talk about why Resident Evil 7 is so beloved, and how it saved the Resident Evil franchise after the mixed reception of Resident Evil 6. Let's start off with this game's biggest strength, the story. You play as Ethan Winters, and you get an email from your wife who has been missing for 3 years to come pick her up at this creepy-ass house. Only for you to get there and everything goes horribly wrong. Now you have to survive the Baker family from hunting you down and killing you, while also trying to figure out what really went down here. And I really like this premise, especially because Ethan Winters isn't in the BSAA, and he's not a super cool agent like Leon. He's just your average guy trying to survive this situation, and I think that makes it so much more relatable and way more scary. Another thing this game does very well is its atmosphere. When walking through the Baker household, you get this absolute sense of dread and a feeling that you should definitely not be there. It especially keeps you on edge because you never know when a member of the Baker family is going to try to get you, or if some mold monsters are going to come out of nowhere. And because of the game's sound design, it is very immersive. Not to mention, this house is absolutely disgusting. I swear to God, this place could be on an episode of Hoarders. But enough about all of that. Now it's time to get into the gameplay. After RE6 focused a lot on the combat system and the action, Resident Evil 7 decides to take the franchise back to its roots with those classic survival horror elements. Because the player has to keep track of the amount of healing items they have or ammunition, it makes it so much more stressful when you encounter the mold creatures or have to deal with the Baker family chasing you down. And I think the game does this brilliantly. It really takes you back to the older Resident Evil titles in terms of its gameplay. However, this would be the first Resident Evil game to introduce the first-person mode. And I really enjoy the first person. It's very immersive, and I feel like people who are familiar with the third-person games won't have any trouble getting into this game since it doesn't change the gameplay that drastically. Another thing I really loved about Resident Evil 7 was its visuals. Graphically, the game still looks good to this day, and I really love the dirty and grungy art style that it has. Not only does it give the game a lot of personality, but it makes it so much scarier exploring these environments and the household with the dirty and grungy art style. And while most of the Resident Evil games I can confidently say are scary, I think this is the only one that truly terrified me. And I think that is mainly because of the dreadful atmosphere, making me think that I could get jump scared at any moment, while also having the Baker family be as disturbing as they are. And I also just really hate fighting the mold creatures. Not only are they really annoying to take down, but because they are so relentless, it makes them even more terrifying when you do run into them. I truly do see this as the Magnum Opus for the franchise. Not only because it changed the public perception of the series after something like RE6, but also because I don't think we would have all of these remakes and sequels if it wasn't for this game's success. I also enjoyed how this game was kind of a soft reboot and a sequel at the same time. Not completely abandoning the things that we liked about the older games, while also introducing us to new concepts that we've never seen before. I think this is one of those horror games that everyone should experience once, and if this is your entryway into the series, then you're probably gonna have a really good time with it. Overall, I absolutely love this game, and I think it's easily one of the best games the series has to offer. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in whatever my next project is.